How do you feel about budgets? I've never done budgets. I've always thought, who needs a budget? I'll just make more money. But sometimes when that's not going so good.
We touched on this earlier. So there's the subject, like budget, and then there's the emotion around it. And so am I under the influence of source, or am I under the influence of something else? So a budget sort of smacks of limitation. It also smacks of responsibility. It also smacks of shortage consciousness, but it doesn't have to. Let's go back to the conversation about make a decision and line up with it. If you have a belief that you want to be fiscally responsible and it feels like you're getting out of balance, and so you feel discord about it, you have to do something to allow that discord to go away. Now, some would say, just don't think about it anymore. Just spend as you want to and don't think about it. But the thing is, it's going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back. So you've got to find some way of lining up with it. So if you say to yourself, resources are unlimited and there's a lot in my vortex and I'm on the brink of so much coming in and I'm really not worried about this, and you're really not. So it feels good to you to make this purchase or this decision about something, then you're in alignment and that money will come. The money will follow your emotion. It will. But if you feel guarded and protective and worried about it, and so the rule of thumb that we would follow if we were standing in your physical shoes is, if you can bring yourself into vibrational alignment through thoughts, then do it. If you can't bring yourself into alignment through thoughts, then don't. It's usually better. Your budget is two things. Your budget is what you're letting in and what's flowing out. So there are two ways to balance your budget. Bring more in or let less flow out. We're not big proponents of restricting yourself, because when you restrict yourself, you tighten up, you get into that shortage consciousness, and then while you may be controlling your budget by not spending more, you also stifle what's coming in with that feeling. So we would rather you let it flow out knowing that it's coming in, that you stifle what's coming in by letting nothing flow out. Does that
How
make
much can you let flow out?
I
mean, it's a real question. Like when you own a business and you have a family and you want to go and have fun, and
you have to find your own balance, but there really are no limits to that. One day we were visiting with a woman and she was upset because her now husband had been married before, and so his income was going to two families, their current family and his previous family. And she complained every time he makes more money, she goes to the court and petitions for a larger share. And so it feels to him like he can never get ahead. What do you suggest? And we said, we wish he had 10 ex-wives. She was shocked. What? We said, well, we understand how money flows. His first family is calling money through him, and your family is calling money through him. And so if there were 10 families calling money through him, there'd be 10 times the money flowing through him, and you're only giving half of it away.
Yeah. Is it?
Did you get that? But you see, most people don't understand. You were talking about, do you need to limit what goes out? And we're saying there's no limit to what's coming in. And so often what you're letting in is limited by what you think you can let out.
So as long as you feel good about whatever you're spending it on,
that's the key. That's the key.
So you should have the knowing that more will come as long as you feel good about what went out.
Yes, that's well said, and it's accurate. Also, you could do this in a pre-paving way or a getting out ahead of it way by acknowledging how prosperous you feel, by feeling your prosperity even before you have the justification for it by your bank balance. As you feel your prosperity, it's our promise to you that there will be all kinds of ways that it will come into your experience, and you might feel better if it comes before you spend it. But we have to say to you, the biggest and the most productive of financial organizations in your world have huge debt. Mm-hmm. Because there's no such thing as money. It's only energy anyway. It's energy. But you've got to decide, how are you doing with the energy? How are you doing with it? We would be, rather than so fiscally responsible, would be emotionally responsible. How you doing? I feel great. How much money you got? Irrelevant. It'll work out for you if you really hear this. It's energy, it's energy, it's energy, and it's boundless. The energy expands to match the desires. Humans think in a very finite way instead of an infinite way. They think there's this pie and it's this big, and that if I get this much of it and you get this much of it, pretty soon the pie will be all done. And if you take a lot, then you're depriving a whole bunch of others. They don't understand that the pie expands to equal the desire of those summoning. So collectively, you have created an unspeakable, abundant pie. And then you complain when just a few get what feels like way more than their fair share, because they're used to getting it. They're in a place of expecting it to come. It's easy for you to expect something and then those that are complaining about somebody else getting too much of the pie hold themselves in deprivation, where no matter how big the pie gets, they're never going to get any, because they're so mad at those who are getting it.
You think about money and how it equates to other things. What are some of those connections, like stability? How would you define stability?
Well, this is the reason that we've been talking to you today and every day about, in this segment intending process, look for the emotion. I feel really good about this, and I like this very much, and I enjoy this, as you use emotional terms, because the way you feel is the indicator of what you've got going on vibrationally, and what you've got going on vibrationally does equal your point of attraction. We really like your question, and we're so happy that we can end on this conversation. So let's say that you have decided to sit and contemplate money, but you have some belief systems about money, let's say, because maybe a big stack of bills is sitting there, and maybe you just changed jobs, whatever, and maybe you're not in a position where you can pay those bills right now. So even though you want to achieve clarity and alignment on the subject of money, the reality is sort of hitting you right in the face, and so it's a harder subject to start on. But you could start on a subject like clarity, because clarity and confusion feel free to you. You could choose clarity or you could choose confusion. Can't choose a Ferrari or not a Ferrari, but clarity feels like something that you have instant access to, and you do. Well, as you begin showing yourself, just segment intending will start giving you, within a week of doing it, you'll start having such clarity in so many moments of your experience that you will begin to feel invincible. It will be like the whole world is at your beck and call. We are not kidding you, not even a little bit. So as you begin to do that, as you feel the power of your ability to accomplish clarity, you'll begin to feel your ability to accomplish anything. When you show yourself that you can love anyway, even when there's something hateful going on, you can still love anyway. When you show yourself that you have the power to focus yourself into clarity over confusion and love over hate, then you will have the knowing that you can focus yourself in abundance over lack of abundance, because it's all only energy, and your inner being's already got it all going on. You see, all that money is, we've been talking all day about thoughts turning to things, thoughts turning to things, thoughts turning to things. All that money is things that thoughts have turned to. So you get enough clarity going, some money's going to show up. You get enough love going, money's going to show up, because that's the stuff that it turns to. Not only the stuff, it turns to relationships and physical conditions.